record. Alrighty, so I'm redoing this video. You see right here, it'll be a brand new video just for you. So immediately after you finish test one and upload your files, you will, let's back up, have access to both the week 5 and the project folder. And after you watch this video and complete the attendance check, see right there it says watch the video and then complete the attendance check, then the project information will open up. And I'm going to walk through the Excel, I'm going to walk through everything. So in this attendance check, you watch the video and you're agreeing not to cheat. Look at that. And if you have a MacBook, you need to email me immediately because the file is not going to work as is. So there you go. I'm still going to show you the file because once I give you the file, it'll be exactly the same. But if you can do this on a Windows-based PC, then everything's super fine. But if you have to use a MacBook, then use a MacBook. I highly recommend that whatever computer you start the project with, you don't move the file around. You do it on that computer exclusively. That's one of the weird things I've noticed that in the past, when we were not completely virtual on fully online, as students switched from the computer in the classroom to their personal computer to their work computer or whatever, problems ensued. Okay, so click here for the project file and click there. And this is the 365. It should be identical to the current free student version. Microsoft in December updated everything to 365. So you may or may not see the update. That's just something weird happening on my desktop computer. Ignore that. You'll probably see the protected view, so enable editing. And you should see the second one, active content disabled. You need to enable that content. Again, if you're a MacBook user, fast forward a little bit till after this stuff because this is not going to work for you. Email me. So type your name in. I know it's not in cell A1. I didn't create this. I am slowly learning how to change things, such as why do you need your name and your initials? I don't know, but it won't work unless you do. So there you go. And then you see the generate data. You may have to scroll down. There is some information down here about MacBooks. Ignore it. Just email me. So click the generate data. And you see a bunch of these pages opened up down at the bottom here with your instructions. So a couple of things that I recommend doing up front before you do anything else is we're going to save as and change the file format. You can see it is set for a macro enabled workbook. That was all that stuff that I just dealt with. So change it to the normal default. Same thing you've done for the previous assignments, Excel SX, plain old Excel workbook. That's the only file format. I did, just as an FYI, discover something. I was working on a file and it crashed while I was working on it. And for some reason, when I went back to save it, it had designated it as a binary workbook. So I made sure that I changed that to the Excel SX. And that pretty much guarantees that I do it. And if a couple of you've had problems with the original files, we already talked about it. So just because it says .xlsx doesn't necessarily mean I'll be able to open it up. You can always look at it after you submit it on Blackboard. Click Save. And see, you get this pop-up that says, to continue saving as a macro free, click Yes. That's what we want. Click Yes. If you click No, then you've not followed the instructions and consequences ensue. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, and then just go through and read everything. I'm going to walk you through a few things here. So please read the instructions and follow the instructions. One of the things that I highly recommend that I've not built into this is to create an answer sheet down here at the bottom where my cursor's going and type all your answers in. There's a lot going on for scenario 1, and it's an unfortunate thing that many students don't organize things in an understandable way. Your answers should go from top to bottom in order that they're here. Um, and sometimes over here on the right, you can see my screen you're looking at is kind of wide. Yours might be a little bit narrow, and there's no telling from your computer to mine where things are going to display. So I would prefer oh, there we go, insert. I was looking for that, and it's at the top. So we're going to insert a new sheet. And give it a fancy name. Ta-da. And you can do that for all of them if you want to, but scenario 1 has got a lot of stuff going on. Scenario 2, I'll look at the other ones, but that will be helpful to me. Also, please do not color code anything. I am as I am able to change and even these colors right here to different things. I haven't got to it yet, but a lot of students use their favorite color, and it doesn't display well on my screen. So if you would not color code anything. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff in scenario 1 that's straight out of the unit 1 material. Go ahead and work on it and get it out of the way. It's no big deal. Step 1, create a scatter plot, trend line, answering things. Notice this sentence in bold here. I'm not going to read it for you, but you should read it and do that like that. Step 2, another scatter plot. If you can't do this first bullet point, don't worry about it. You can Google it. That's the one thing that I'm okay with, but it's not too hard to figure out on your own. There's a goal seek for equilibrium. You've done that. Shortage and surpluses, range, write everything out, speculate, etc. Step 3, demand, cost, profit. This one was a similar question on WebAssign in the regression. It really should be in the break even, but I just discovered that. You're going to have to switch out the variables, so pay attention to that. And then step 4 is also unit 1, goal seek, break even, right there, brief paragraph or 2. Probably not. I mean, this is not a brief paragraph, my instructions here, so probably not going to accomplish that in a brief paragraph. Step 5 involves things in Unit 2 and Unit 3. At the beginning of Unit 3, at the beginning of Unit 2, we do derivatives the calculus way, and that's what you need to do for here. The end of Unit 1, we did derivatives with the limit definition, but we're done with that. This is you need to do these things with calculus from Unit 2. Now the maximize is in the Unit 3 material. So you're not going to do the maximum the way you did in Unit 1. That was the algebraic way. You're going to do calculus for this one. So the other thing that I was going to do up front that I didn't do was fix that accuracy. But most of the videos that you have seen in the worksheet collections were made before I knew how to fix that. So I talk about using different initial guess values to do that. But if you've got a PC, I highly recommend, a Windows-based PC, I highly recommend that you change that accuracy like I showed in one of those earlier videos. I didn't count those. Some students with MacBook users have better luck with Solver, which is perfectly fine. I'm showing you how to activate Solver down here at the bottom. So I went to the options on the MacBook. I think it's called Preferences, and then Add-ins, and then down here Excel Add-ins, and then you don't change it. You just click Go, and then you can see Solver should be listed there. You check it, and you click OK, and then under the Data tab, where the what if is, you see Solver over here. Now, just as a caution, Solver you can improve its accuracy as well. So I'll show you solver again now. So once you click the cell with the formula, now every time you use solver it changes, so you need to input it manually. You want the value of, do not use maximum, value of 0 for these derivatives, and the changing cell, if you've clicked it before, it'll be populated with something with the $sign, so you'll need to manually change it again. Now, just in case solver, you leave this to the nonlinear, and then under options, you can see we've got all methods. We've got here, we've got the nonlinear. It doesn't have the same number. You might need to change that. How do you know? Go ahead and change it anyways. What the heck? In some cases, solver is super perfect. And then just depending on the specific coefficients, it might not be any better than GoalSeek. But I've had MacBook users specifically tell me they were able to use solver in place of GoalSeek. There you go. Okay, so that's scenario 1, most of which is right out of unit 1. Couple of things, unit 2 and 3, a couple of things you're going to think about and discuss. Scenario 2 is another trend line and another, trying to find the word, maximum. Again, the calculus way. So you could go ahead and do the trend line, the graph, etc., and then save the maximum. You could do the derivative if you wanted to, save the maximum for unit 3. Scenario 3 is straight out of unit 3, the elasticity we discuss in unit 3. So you won't be able to do that until later, and then all the other stuff you'll do afterwards. So that is my take on this. So again, if you have a MacBook, email me to get the correct file. The generate data will not work on the MacBook, at least according to about a dozen students last semester. They couldn't get it to work. So just email me and I'll send you the file. Save it as the correct file format right there. Double check it, make sure you did that. If you can update the accuracy and or use solver, make sure that you change that. That will be very helpful. Otherwise, as I said in that one answer, you can use the different initial guess values and make sure you are getting the correct answer like that. That's it for this video. Let's click the stop button.